It's been a journey, one that you don't really want to walk. But when your loved one knows the Lord and they finally step into his presence, well, there's nothing like it.
I feel like it has been like 3 months
I think
since you and I
has.
sat in this
I
room
know.
together
Mhm.
and just kind of talked about what's going on with life. There has been a lot
So
that
much
has happened since we were last in here. I think last time that we sat in the studio,
Mm-hmm.
there was some new news, but it was so new,
Mm.
so new, we didn't even talk about it yet.
Mm-hmm.
And so one of the things that we have
That's
talked
true.
about
Mm-hmm.
on the podcast for some time now is that your mom had not been doing well.
Right.
And you had been saying for quite some time that it's not that long. We don't know exactly what, not that long before she's going to be with Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where she is today.
She is. She is finally home with the Lord.
Wow.
She's been wanting that for, I will say, months
Okay.
because she had dementia. And that, of course, it complicates things,
Sure.
even spiritually. But some of the grace gifts along the way, Steve, at one point, she was in what they call hospice respite, where you think the person is probably going to transition into eternity, and you can't do everything she needs at home.
Yeah.
So you send her to this place, and they were fantastic. This is in the state of Kentucky. While she was there, she had one of her like rebounding moments. And
Okay.
Mom did that so many times.
It seems like a dozen.
I'm telling you, I know that we counted 5, maybe 6.
Okay.
Every time we would get a call, hey, your mom's not doing well. She's unresponsive today. You might want to get up here. And I would go, and bless her, she would bounce right back.
It seems like I'd check in with you. I'm like, how are things going? She's like, yeah, by the time I got here, she was, at the nurse's station, or she was in her chair.
Thought she worked there.
Right?
She did. Yeah. Oh, I've got more.
Oh, I bet.
We did this more. But at this particular thing, so they take her to a piano and they put sheet music up. Now, this woman, Mama, was just a few days before unresponsive. And she sits down at that piano and she starts playing Amazing Grace.
Wow.
I was just like, I would have loved to have seen that. And the nurse that was taking care of her, he said, it was great. She just did a great job. But with the dementia piece, that's always hard. And Mom was saying things like, I don't know why this journey's not over yet. I cannot wait to be with the Lord. The things that you knew she was ready.
Yeah.
And yet, for whatever reason, her body fought.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like it.
Wow. Wow. And knowing that she was of the mind when, her mind was there, when she was of the mind to say, I'm tired, I'm done, I'm ready to be with Jesus, that has to help to a certain degree for you as you think about, I'm losing my mom. But knowing that she's looking forward to heaven and she's looking forward to Jesus has to help at least on some level.
It so does. There was, when I was growing up, pastors would preach a lot about the cross, a lot about our sinful condition, how the ground is level at Calvary. You can look to Jesus. He's the one that's forgiven your sin or paid the penalty for your sin to forgive your sin. But you have to understand, you need a Savior.
Yeah.
Like, you have a sin nature and you can't do anything about it. And they would develop that, it's not argument, but that presentation so beautifully. And you would just stand and think about what Christ has done for you. Well, it's kind of the same thing. When you think about your loved one dying and you think about the majesty of that moment she takes that last breath and that she's in the presence of the one who paid the penalty for her sin, and so now she can be with him, there's just something really amazing, and you want to worship. You just want to worship the Lord and thank him.
Yeah.
And because we've learned
It's
the
an
word
and. We live in
it's
the and, don't we?
And Steve, I found it really difficult after she was gone. Like, my dad and I would talk about it. Like, we didn't understand why the Lord was waiting to take her home, why she was having to suffer and go through all of these things when she was ready to be with him.
Yeah.
When he did take her and she breathed her last, all of a sudden I was like, well, I'm just thrilled that she's with you. And I'm just not sure how to feel right now.
Yeah.
Like there was a truth going on in my soul,
Right.
and there was an emotion going on in my daughter, me as
Yeah.
the daughter, that was trying to bring them together. And I really haven't been able to yet.
That actually really isn't very surprising.
Mm.
I would think it would take some time
Mm-hmm.
to be able to bring that together because, I mean, it's your mom,
It
you know?
That's
It's
the
your mom.
thing. And I've had friends that have lost their mamas, and they would say, they'd give me a warning, hey, when this finally happens, it's going to hit different. You think you're prepared. And they are right. I knew because
Yeah.
of who was saying it to me. I knew that it was true, but you can't until you experience
Until you
it.
walk
You
it.
just can't know.
Yeah.
And once it happened, I'm like, oh, yeah, there it is. It does hit different.
Now, both of my parents are here, and both of my in-laws are still here. But I've heard from other friends and other people I know who have lost both their parents that there's almost like a little sense, no matter how old you are, a little sense of, I'm an orphan now.
I'm going to chuckle because it hit me funny because I had thought of that. Before Mom passed, I knew your days of being an orphan are coming up. And you do feel that. And you think you're a woman. You're
Right.
a grown adult. You got kids of your own that are grown. Why do you feel that way? There's something in the way God wires us that are attached to family members and relationships. Yes, you do. And then a dear, sweet friend reminded me, I was thinking of you the other day. She said, and I just realized you don't have your mom anymore. You don't have your dad anymore. You don't have your brother anymore. Like you don't really have anybody. And I'm like,
Wait a minute.
Oh, yes, accurate statement as far as immediate family.
Family of origin.
Family of
You have a new family now.
I do.
You have a husband and you have kids. And
I
you
do.
Have, yeah.
I have them, and I have a sweet cousin who lives in Louisiana, which she was part of this story in the end with Mom. I have my dear beloved Aunt Hannah, who is she's close enough that I can get to her in a day's time. So there are still blood family relatives that are part of my life, which I'm very grateful for. But she's right. If you're just looking at your original family of origin, mom, dad, siblings, I'm it.
You're it. Wow. And that probably had to be hitting you pretty weird.
Thank you. That's the word.
I mean, I don't know a better word to say. That just has to feel weird.
Another thing that until you're standing in those shoes,
Right.
you just think I will never feel that way. It's fine. He's been gone 22 years. Daddy's been gone 5 almost. And I say my brother's been gone 22 years. My daddy's been gone almost 5. And Mom has now been gone just a couple, 3 weeks. But when it's reality, it's weird.
Different. Yeah. What's been the biggest surprise or the thing that like you didn't necessarily see coming that you're like, oh, I didn't expect this?
In grief.
Through
Or in the
this
whole
whole journey.
story.
Yeah.
Dude, there's so many God stories in the journey. So the day I got a call the week before Mom passed from hospice, and they were sure she was unresponsive. They were sure she was going to pass. If you want to see her, you better get up here. So I take off. I was going the next day anyway.
Yeah.
So I take off. I get up there. And she was unresponsive. And it was 7 p.m. when I walked into her room. And I sit down, Steve, on the side of her bed, and I tap her hand and I say, Mama, I'm here. I'm here. It's Dawn Ray. And she kind of starts waking up. And she takes my hand and she takes my other hand. She would proceed for 2 hours to rub my hands, rub my arms. She'd pat my face. Now, she couldn't talk. And then I had on a dress that had this little seam up here by the neck, and she would take her little finger across that seam. And 2 hours.
Wow.
My stepsister.
Wow.
Who is she? My stepsister-in-law? I don't know. Anyway, I have a stepbrother and a stepsister, but my stepbrother's wife was sitting there, and she's just like, I cannot even believe what I'm seeing right now. And Mom and I locked eyes.
Yeah.
And I said, I know that because Mom's been sick for these last several years, it's hard to understand her relationship with me, but that was it. That was it. So that was a gift. And then she rallied.
Of course she did.
And by Friday, I was like, y'all, I gotta go home. Like, so I stayed 3 days, and then I knew that I was coming back pretty quickly. And sure enough, by Sunday, they called again and said, you might want to come on. And that would be the last 3 days of her life. The other thing, though, that was such a gift to me, and it surprised me. When the day that she passed, so I would stay with her at the nursing home. I had a little chair right next to her bed. And when my stepdaddy would come in, bless him, I would run to the house and take a shower, and then I'd come right back. And the day she passed, I was tired.
Yeah.
It had been a lot.
Physically, probably even more so emotionally. You've been through it.
All the things.
Yeah.
And I had fallen asleep for like an hour and a half, and he came in and he tapped my foot, and he goes, hey, we're here. And I'm like, okay. And I'm very delirious, like I hardly know what day it is. And he goes, no, you're okay. Just stay. And I said, no, I got to get up. I got to go get a shower. And I had like my bag with me, my suitcase, everything. I would take it to their house and get ready and then come back. So I left at 1:20 their time, right? 1:20 p.m. in the afternoon.
Yep.
I was back by 2 p.m.
Oh, you were flying.
The whole time, thankfully, the distance isn't that far between the house and the nursing home. But the whole time that I'm getting ready, I'm thinking, hurry, just hurry. But it wasn't a frantic hurry. It wasn't frenetic. Because sometimes, when you're like trying to hit a deadline, you are moving. And I just kept sensing this forward movement of just get back there. And I was like, oh, okay. And I thought, I want something to drink. Should I order it through an app and pick it up? I need food. I haven't eaten today. And it was just like, just get back to the nursing home. So in 40 minutes, I leave and I come back and I walk around the wall, and Mama has changed drastically. Drastically. And when I saw her, I just couldn't help but thank the Lord. I knew it all made sense.
Yeah. The hurry
Why
and
he
get back.
was gently pushing me forward in time, like he knew. And 27 minutes later, Mama was with him.
Wow. I'm glad that you listened to the Spirit's prompting.
Me too.
Yeah. And that's, you did not stop for the food, and that you were able to be there.
Talk myself into things. Like, you're fine. You've got time. Dad's there. It's going to be okay.
Yeah.
But there's something that you knew wasn't you, that you knew it was the kindness of the Lord. And of course, in hindsight, you really knew.
Yeah.
And you just thanked him for his goodness.
Yeah.
To be with her.
Wow. Massive life change.
Massive.
And I know that some family was able to come. Oldest daughter coming down, and another family. And that's was there a time that you guys took to just tell stories, share memories?
Some. The kids remember a lot from when they were younger. And so we did share around the table. We were able to share some stories about just being with her and Papo, as we call him.
Yeah.
His Mamo and Papo. And just how much they loved the kids and the presence when they could, until their health started changing and they couldn't be there. But to remind them more so as they're adults how much they were loved. And the things that, especially Ben and I, because of course, we married and Mom was still making him cookies. And we always joked. I was like, she likes you better than she likes me. And she'd go, I do. Yeah. Because she just always appreciated Ben and his willingness to come and visit family, and not, he just joined right in. And so she would always make him oatmeal raisin cookies. And then the kids always loved her spaghetti. And that's what we talked about. And then she would make Ben spaghetti and the kids spaghetti. And it was sweet. It was, and the service was very short. It was graveside. There is something called a nurse's, the Nightingale service. And you can have a nurse, at least in Kentucky, you can have an active nurse come and do a sweet little thing to honor. Mom was an RN.
Okay.
To honor the nurse that had passed. And at the end, Nurse Roberta, you are now relieved of your duties. And I'm like, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, we're done here. But it
Yeah.
was precious.
Yeah. No, that's good. When you think about your mom and you think about her impact, her influence on you and the kind of shaping of who you are, like what stands out?
My mama was strong. She was so strong. She was not unkind, but she would not put up with nonsense either. And one of the nights that we were sitting there, I just started voice texting into my phone. So all the things that were coming up in my mind, I could just get down. Because some of them I hadn't thought of in a long time. She was a single mom. And my bestie and I, we would always push the envelope, especially when we were in college and we were home for the summer. And we didn't do anything. Like our town, nothing to do. Seriously, nothing to do but go hang out with your friends. And one of our friends worked at a gas station that was right next to the highway.
Okay.
And we're talking I-75.
Yeah.
We're not talking a little highway. We would just go down there and sit and just talk. And they had a phone on the wall, and Mom would meet us at the door. I have to work tomorrow. You're keeping me up. And I'm like, Mama, you knew where we were. Like, you could have called if you, and she's like, no. But I just remember Mom teaching me things like accountability, and you have as much right as a designed person by God to be anywhere that anybody else has to be. And square your shoulders. And if you wore two different socks, well, but before it was popular to wear two different socks,
right.
Back when you were shunned, if you didn't like match, hold your head up. Tell them you meant to do it if they ask. If they don't ask, they probably won't notice. And I appreciated that because you can, in situations where you're feeling less than and inadequate, it's God designed you. You're His because you have a relationship with Him. Act like it. You're a child of the King.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, that stuck with me.
I can tell.
My whole life.
Knowing you as I have for the past 5 to 6 years or so, like hearing you say that and then watching you, I'm like, oh yeah. Yeah, your mom.
That's Mom.
Your mom left her mark.
That is my mama.
Yeah.
And even though she's laying in a bed, getting ready to step into eternity, we favor. And people would walk in and look at her and go, oh, you must be the daughter. I'm like, thank you.
I never met your mom in person, but I saw pictures.
Yeah.
And absolutely, you two look a lot alike. You're like, you want to know what you're going to look like?
Yeah.
As you down the road?
Yeah.
All you got to do is look at the pictures, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Well,
she was precious.
Precious and with Jesus right now.
Come on.
No more suffering, no more pain, whole. I remember it couldn't have been that long after she passed. And, I was in southern Indiana and got a text from you saying that she's with Jesus right now. And I don't remember if it was that text or the next one. You talked about her being whole.
Yes.
And what a great thing to think about is, while we grieve on this side of eternity, she is happier than she has ever been.
Ever been. Can't mess it up anymore. Can't treat somebody kindly, unkindly. Can't make a mistake. Like, don't have to deal with sin nature. And if you deal with any kind of disease, you are not battling that anymore.
Yeah.
And then to be in the presence of your Savior, and the more you study Scripture and you understand His character, the more you long to be in
with
His
Him.
presence.
Yep.
And she is.
Yeah. Being in His presence is the greatest thing. I mean, that is eternity. That your mom is now with Him for all of eternity. And as you're watching or listening to this podcast, that's our hope and our prayer is that you will spend your eternity with Him as well. That we will be there in heaven together. And maybe you've got some questions about that. You don't know Jesus, but you're curious and like to know more. Well, we've got a link on our website, donandsteveplus.org, and I hope that you will check that out. Need Him would be a great place for somebody to go.
Needhim.org. We'll put all those links in the show notes, so no matter where you're listening or watching, you can grab them right there.
As we kind of wrap up this podcast, I think about that conversation. I think about the impact that your mom had in your life, how she pointed you to Jesus and, built faith into you. And as I think through just the different stories I've heard today, stories that I've heard over the years, grateful for the opportunity that she had to pour into you. And I think of all the other parents who might be listening to this and think, hey, take the time to pour into your kids, pour into your grandkids, because you never know what's going to stick with them.
Isn't that the key, though? I mean, we are leaving a legacy.
Yeah.
Whether it's a positive one and one that you have taught your kids about the Lord and encouraged their relationship with Him, or not so much, because our kids pick up on stuff.
Yeah.
And I saw both sides of Mama. And I had one of her friends come up to me at the graveside service and say, your mama brought out the best in me, and I brought out the worst in her. I died laughing. I died laughing because I knew what she meant. It's been a sweet podcast. Thanks for letting me talk about Mom.
Well, I'm glad you took the time to do that. Glad that you've taken the time to hang out and spend some time with us. Don and Steve Plus is listener supported. We do depend on your generosity to keep the podcast going. So if you feel led to support, I hope you'll hit our website. It's donandsteveplus.org.
Oh, please do. And if you would, like and subscribe. It really does matter.
One last thing. I want to say a big thank you to Raphael's Roastery.
Oh, our friend.
Because Raphael's Roastery keeps us going. We can't do what we do without them. And we've got details about Raphael's and their incredible coffee when you visit the show notes.